I was saying how, not really in a bad mood today, right? I mean, I've had better moods, but it just lifted me. It lifted my soul. That guitar just took me and I rode on it, and we were going places, that Narnia, remember the Narnia movie and
Yes.
the big lion or the dog with the, right? And like, I felt like I was on that. Hey, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Into the Music. My name is Greg. That guy over there is Andy. Andy, what? Oh, O's, Orioles hat, huh? Okay. Yeah, all these different kinds.
Yeah. No, I've probably 40 or so different Orioles fitted hats.
You have 40 different. You might have said it to me, right? 40 different hats. That's crazy.
Yeah, and the number grows each week, so it's
Where do you put them all? Do you have a storage space, whatever?
Yeah, I have like these storage boxes that are like with clear doors that hold like 3 each, and they're all stacked. Like
that's great.
They're all organized by the different like boutique hat store that designed them and stuff like that. Yeah. It's a sickness.
Hey, women love shoes. Andy loves hats, right? So there you go. You're like,
that's what it is. And I swear I have hair under this thing. Like people often ask, like, are you bald? I'm like, no, I just really like
yeah. Like that guy.
I just noticed actually, now that you mentioned.
Oh yeah, that I'm bald. Yeah. All right. So what do you got for me? I think.
All right. Well, we're gonna do another, switching of the chairs here, and I'm going to be offering up another listen to your boy Greg, and hopefully he gives it a listen, and we'll see how he feels about it. But this is a band called Two Door Cinema Club, and the song is What You Know.
Well, I don't know that band, nor the song. So Two Door Cinema Club.
Yes.
Okay. And What You Know.
Well, I'll say this for after the listen and when we talk and dissect it a bit. But
you're pulling a Chris on me now, right? Chris would give me nothing.
Well, I don't know how much you want walking into it. And I don't want you walking in biased. So give it a listen and let me know what you think on the other side.
Biased. Okay. All right. Here I go. Okay. I'm making this face for 2 reasons. First off, I really like it. I like the beginning. But I also was like, do I know this? But then he started singing. That's not familiar. But that beginning sounds familiar. But it's so good. That was so good. It was so inventive. And I wasn't expecting it to kind of sort of take off like that. That real kind of groove beat. Wow. All right, cool. Why not? Because the beginning was pretty kind of cool, but I don't know, right? What was I expecting? All right, I'll shut up. Let's go again, man. This is good. Yeah, I love it. Is that cowbell? That's so fire.
It's right before my eyes and I can take it if it's what I want to do. I am leaving and this is starting to feel like it's right before my eyes and I can taste it. It's my sweet beginning and I can tell just what you want. You don't want to be alone. You don't want to be alone. And I can say it's what you know.
I'm loving that guitar. I'm loving that guitar. Those notes that are just playing. It's so infectious. It really is, and it's making me happy. It's really it's lifting my soul up right now. Not that I'm really down, but I've had better moods before. But man, this really is lifting me up, and it's so good. And it's just keep it's fleshing the song out so good. I wonder without it if I would be liking the song as much. Yeah. Um, it's interesting. It's got like that dance beat to it. It's got an indie sound. And the lead singer sounds like Death Cab for Cutie. Ben, what's his last name? Sounds like him. All right. This is good though. Here we go. Um, Loving that guitar.
But you know it the whole time. Yeah, you know it the whole time. Maybe next year I'll have no time to think about the questions to address. Am I the one to
That bass.
try to stop the fire? I wouldn't test you. I'm not the best you could have attained. Why try anything? I will get there. Just remember, I know that I can tell just what you want. You don't want to be alone. You don't want to be alone. And I can't say it's what you know, but you know it the whole time. Yeah, you know it the whole time.
That's cool.
I can tell just what you want. You don't want to be alone. You don't want to be alone. And I can't say it's what you know, but you know it the whole time. Yeah, you know it the whole time.
Oh, wow. I don't know what I was expecting. That was good though. I really surprised the crap out of myself. Because the beginning was cool, it was inventive, but I kind of pegged it, like I said to myself, pop song. I don't know. It's got a cool beginning, but then the band came in and I was basing it off like the first few notes, right? The first 5, 10 seconds, and then the band comes in. And then just as the song went on and that bass and the guitar, oh man, yeah, yeah. Wow. Okay, cool. I can't wait to talk with Andy about this one. Man, I like this song a lot.
Oh yeah, this one was it a fun tune?
I like this a lot. And I think I surprised myself.
Yeah.
um, because I don't know, I was saying on the other side, it was the beginning. It was kind of interesting and cool, but I kind of set me up for like a pop kind of um beat song kind of thing. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then it because it started with like that sort of like that guitar wow wow wow, wow, with that sort of drum track machine.
Uh-huh.
Um, and then the band came in. It was the bass, it was the guitar, and I think it actually moved from a drum track machine to a real drum or whatever. I
Yeah,
think.
it's actual drummers. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, all right. And I'm like, oh, okay. And right away, and this thing just didn't stop. And it actually had variations. It changed up here and there too. So it wasn't the same thing over and over. It was that guitar.
I love that guitar
It
riff.
was the
Oh
guitar.
my gosh, yeah, it's so good.
It took me, lifted me.
Yeah.
I was saying how, not really in a bad mood today, right? I mean, I've had better moods, but it just lifted me. It lifted my soul. That guitar just took me, and I rode on it, and we were
Mm.
going places, that Narnia, remember the Narnia movie, and
Yes.
the big lion or the dog with the, right? And like, I felt like I was on that. That guitar, those guitar notes were like that big thing that's taking me around, and I was just moving and gliding around. I'm coming back. But no, it was really fun. It was fun, and it was energetic, and it was just, I just liked it, and then the chorus, that took off. It was so melodic.
Mhm.
And
And I'll tell you, just a personal opinion, and this is my bias speaking. The bass line in this song is an unsung hero too, because the bass really like does its thing.
yeah, right. By the second verse, because
Yeah.
I'm going on so much about the guitar, right? I think I might have even stopped it, like, wow, that guitar. And then by the second verse, the bass is really like, all right, you're being pretty cool there, and Mr. Clever and hip with the guitar notes and like that. It was
Yep.
really good. The tone and the sound of the bass right from the beginning was always good. But I
But he
think
like double times the
he
second
stepped it
verse, like
up.
instead of letting the open note or like those notes kind of resonate on the
Yeah,
riff, he
yeah,
like double times the riff on the second verse, and it's like doo doo
yeah.
doo doo doo, and it just starts moving all around, and you're like, oh,
Oh, and I noticed it. That was so good. And then there was this crazy middle sort of bridge, whatever, musical bridge to the chorus again, that were all these different sounds. So they were really mixing it up big time, keeping it interesting, but they didn't really have to that much. I just really,
mhm.
it was a very short song. So it was kind of like, compact. And again, just that beat and the guitar, that just, did it. Was there a cowbell in the very beginning when with that wow, 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 wow? It sounded like a
I'd
cowbell.
have to give it another listen, but I think there is a distinctive percussive instrument that's used in the beginning. And it probably is like a cowbell or a block that's being used.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's at the very, like you're talking about the very beginning of the song, right? To start it.
Very, very beginning. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
More cowbell. And then the lead singer, his voice sounded like Ben, I forget his last name, from Death Cab for Cutie. He
Oh,
has,
is it Gibbert?
yeah, Gibbet or something like that, maybe. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It sounded a little bit like his voice. Yeah.
Yeah, certainly.
Yeah. Thumbs up. Yeah, I liked it
Awesome.
a lot.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, it sort of fits your mold because I think that given that they're from Northern Ireland, they're technically a UK band.
There you
So
go.
yeah, they fit into that. They fit into that niche, which I don't even know why we call it niche. It's the majorative sort of thing around
Yeah.
here. But
Yeah.
they formed in 2007. They're from Northern Ireland, and really for forming in 2007, when you compare it to like some of the other bands we've listened to or just bands throughout history, they took off fairly quickly. Like their first album, I think it was they began recording in 2009, and I think by like the end of 2010 or 11 it was released, and this song, which really took off, was on that. So
Okay.
about forming in 2007, recording your first album just 2 years later, it having the song that's going to propel you to enable you to create future records and songs. And they're still around doing their thing from what I gather. I mean, I've listened to a few songs by them since this first album, and I've always been kind of pleasantly pleased. Like they've got all the right ingredients, right? Like good guitar work. The singer's voice is consistent and really great, and the drummer knows what he's doing back there. So they seem to write good songs. So they're just somebody I've always gone back to after hearing this one. It was just one of those wonderful introductory songs to a band that you'll then go on to, kind of like. So
Is this song the takeaway off that album for you, or there's other songs on that album that
this is the
like
takeaway for the first album for sure.
Yeah.
There's another song that I think kind of rivals it by them that came out, I think, a little later called Changing of the Seasons.
Yeah.
And that's another almost kind of similar themed lyrically song. Because this song seems to me, through all interpretation of the lyrics, that it's just kind of about realizing that a relationship's at its end. But that's just, kind of supposition on my part, having read the lyrics. But if we want to dive into them, or you've given them a thought or anything, feel free to let me
Do you
know
have them pulled up?
I can, yeah. Yeah, here we are. Would you like me to go over a bit of them with you?
Yeah,
Sure.
read me a bedtime story.
Okay, all right. Sit down, Greg. Get your warm cup of milk. Okay, so in a few weeks, I will get time to realize it's right before my eyes, and I can't take it if it's what I want to do. I am leaving, and this is starting to feel like it's right before my eyes, and I can taste it. It's my sweet beginning. And then the chorus, which sort of follows that and kind of expands on it, is I can tell just what you want. You don't want to be alone. You don't want to be alone. I can't say it's what you know, but you've known it the whole time. Yeah, you've known it the whole time.
Mm.
So just from that, I kind of get like, it's sort of a stagnant part of a relationship and they don't know what decision to make, to press on or call it quits. And it sounds like from the perspective of the narrator, they know if they break up what's before them, like this new sweet beginning, maybe with potential. Yeah, it's scary, but it's new, and they're willing to sort of embark. But then they say, they sort of call out the other individual in saying, I know what you want, and what you want is not to be alone, which doesn't necessarily sound like the answer, right? It just sounds like a stopgap measure, just to remain together for the sake of not wanting to be alone. And then he goes on to say, and I can't say it's what you know, but you've known the whole time.
Yeah, I mean, that line right there is so telling right there. But you've known all the time, like you know it.
Yeah,
You know it.
and I like the tact of saying, I can't tell you what you know, but you've known.
But you know. Yeah.
So it's yeah, I think that's sort of what it is, kind of a come to Jesus moment in a relationship where someone has to make a decision if the collective can't.
Yeah, it's kind of like where the rubber meets the road kind of thing, right? I mean,
yeah. That's sort of the gist I take away from it. Which countless number of songs about this this subject matter. This is a pretty good one, and the music really carries it as well. So
it carries it makes the song, but it sort of did it sort of fooled me, because it's like, were they really singing about something? Because anything about a relationship, and you got to really come to reality of it, what's our next step? It's kind of, there's some sadness there, because they may wind up sort of going separate ways, and they really have to make a big decision. And they're putting this infectious, beat, dance beat almost, and lifted my soul up. As I said, it lifted my soul up, but what they're singing about, there's not much soul lift in there too. So that's actually really interesting, that contrast, and a lot of songs, a lot of bands want to do that. They want to sort of camouflage the very serious. Sometimes they will put the most heaviest, serious music to a very heavy, serious message. And then other bands want to just fool you, they want to, like, if you're really paying attention, you're going to know what we're really talking about, and while we're singing this, that's really kind of tear inducing, maybe, enjoy our music. But I really did. That guitar, it was just so, as I was saying before, it was so inventive, because he was doing these sort of licks and notes that then they changed up, it wasn't the same pattern, it just kept on mixing it up and stuff. And they got the tone. I mean, the mics, however they sort of produced that, they got the sound out of that guitar was just so good, whatever effect he was using and how they produced that. Yeah, it was really good. So
I think one thing that has come up a lot of late when you and I have discussed music, like every once in a while we'll bring up the production quality of the song, which is no detriment to the songwriting or the performance of the musicians they're in. But you can tell, even by listening to a song like this and comparing it to a great recorded song in the 70s or 60s by a band like Zeppelin or the Stones, the production levels of now, the way technology has come, it's just that what you can do in a production booth is amazing. And the richness of the sounds and more sounds and more tracks and them coming together so well and so cleanly. It's really fun to listen to and see how far music has come in that regard, in the production regard.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying there's no exceptions to but I would say that a good song is a good song. You know, you can produce it as much as you want, but if it's a bad song, you know, you're not going to make it really a bad song into a good song. Again,
Yeah.
exceptions to the rule, but what I take like with this song and others too, like that, is that um, you got to give actually the band the credit too, where and they got the right people around them to see their vision, to understand the song that they were putting, whatever the demo was, whatever they sort of, you know, originally how they recorded it, and then sort of met that vision with like, okay, you know, with these sounds, and this is how we're producing the song. So to me, it's like, you know, the band takes a lot of credit too, because, you know, whatever they were sort of how they created this and what they were giving off, then the folks in the recording studio sort of met that, you know, and just came out and fleshed it out to that, you know. So it goes hand in hand. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, for sure.
yeah,
Because like nowadays, like it's very much a reality that overproduction is a production choice that is fatally made oftentimes. So sometimes it's good to tone that. Just because you can do it because technology is dictated
yeah,
doesn't mean that you should, you know. And I think that finding someone that understands your music isn't necessarily meant to be overproduced and does need
right.
some of that lo-fi or, you know, just primitive production quality to it, if you will, then they should opt for it rather than overproducing, because that stuff can sound
Yeah.
pretty pathetic.
But the band has to play. The band has to know how to play. And that guitarist knew how to play. I mean, he was playing great guitar. So,
Yeah.
you know, to me, it was just, again, getting the sound. But I mean, he was, yeah, yeah. I definitely am into more songs from this band. I need to hear what else they got, you know. So bring it
Awesome.
on.
Well, last tip for you before we wrap this up is I would suggest, if you do want to revisit this again, to go on and find the performance of this song on Jimmy Fallon, which you'll
Okay.
find on the tube. And it's just it's fun to be able to see this performed live. It's performed very well. They changed the beginning a little bit, but it's the same song in essence, and you get to kind of see and get a feel for the band better than just listening to a recording. So give
I
that a
will.
chance if you'd like.
I will seek that
All right.
out. And in the
Cool.
meantime, you have a great night. This is great. Thanks a lot for this. This was fun. And to everyone
Yeah,
out there,
absolutely.
hope everyone out there enjoyed this too. I'm sure Andy will let me know what that next sort of song is, but folks out there who love this band, you know, give it a shot. You know, what do you think should be that next song from this band? Two Door Cinema Club. I got that right, Andy?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Let us know. And in the meantime, we hope to see every one of you on the next episode of Into the Music.